Foster's with a big zero, like Oakley.
Hello, Louisiana Beer Reviews. We're looking at a beer called Foster's Premium Ale. I've had it before, but you said you wanted to try regular beers from time to time, and I have a bunch in my fridge that we can try. This is certified kosher here in Jefferson Parish. Foster's was established in 1888, but I think the first beer didn't come out till '89 when they introduced it at a fair or something like that. I don't know when the ale hit the market. I know they made it in bottles because I've seen photos of the bottles. Yes, it's from Australia. It used to be called, when Miller first started brewing this under contract years ago, they called it Foster's Premium Bitter.
Well, I know the blue label was called Foster's Lager.
Yeah, it still is.
And then I didn't really pay too close attention between the blue and green. I just thought they're just trying to sell beer with a different label.
No, and I think that calling it Premium Bitter hurt the sales because Americans said, oh, bitter. They don't want it. So they changed it about 10 years ago to Premium Ale, and they started selling it everywhere. Used to barely be able to find this. This is strong.
Must be a variant of a extra special bitter English style.
Yeah, they used to use caramel color to make it darker, but they decided they're just going to go with the malts making it dark, and it's stronger than Foster's. Foster's is 5%, this is 5.5. So it's a little more body and a little more alcohol. And this is best by June 11th, 2018, so it's got a good date on it.
Well, I remember when we used to get these, way back in the day, we called them oil cans.
Yes, and the oil cans first came to the United States in 1972. I'll be right back. My nose is bothering me because of that Trappy's hot sauce, which was very good.
That was good stuff. One of the good old Louisiana hidden brands no one knows much about, except us locals. So I popped it open. Didn't get any smoke.
Spill everywhere.
This? Probably.
Yeah, they're very spill. That's a 24.5 ounce can. It's pretty big.
So I'm going to give it a hard pour.
Oh, yeah.
Release all the gases and
It's a thick head.
just dripping a little bit.
So it's naturally amber. What is that color? Copper or amber?
Cross between copper and gold.
Yeah. And very bubbly. There's fierce bubble streams.
Yeah. It's a traditional, looks like an English style.
And the old cans I have from 10 years ago, they would say caramel color added, but they dropped that. Let's see. The calorie count is 161, so it's
Wasn't over the alcohol content.
got a little higher calorie. And this is the same size. If this was in a liquor bottle, it would be your standard liquor bottle size, 750 milliliters. Like your regular liquor bottles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Give it a taste.
Yeah, let's give it an aroma first.
Smells good.
Clean, and it's got a very faint bread and fruit, I think.
It's like grass.
And they have that proprietary yeast, and then they import those Pride of Ringwood hops from 3 farms in Australia. They're always bragging about it on the website how they get these special hops from these 3 farms in Australia. But this is made in Fort Worth, Texas for us. It's cheaper to make it here than shipping it across the ocean.
So do they still send their hops here? Or are we
They send the hops here. Those things are all dried.
Yeah.
And then they send them in big bags and they open them
Pellets.
up. Yeah. Send that stuff all over the world.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and taste it.
Okay, cheers.
Tastes like a regular beer. It's something different. I don't know what that something different is. It's not really malty. It's kind of
It has an
bitter
underlying.
strange.
It's got that bitterness to it. That underlying
Bitter
bitterness.
strange.
Those English Fuller's. You ever had Fuller's London Pride? It kind of has that kind of strange underneath flavor.
it's bitter, but it's kind of grassy bitter, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
It's not bad, it's not pleasant. It tastes like a regular imported beer. I spent time in Europe, and a lot of the beers while I was in Europe, when I was a young man, they had a strange taste to it, like San Miguel's and stuff like that. And I was always told it was formaldehyde. But if this is brewed in the United States, you're not going to have a formaldehyde, which they've used as a preservative in the beers. We're talking the 80s, guys, not now. So
I've heard people talk about that before. They got a little left. You want the rest?
I'll share it with you.
I'd be curious to see what your score is on this. I know you've had Foster's
It's a-
Lager many times, but you've never had this ale before.
Yeah, it's a heavy taste. Yes, someone's alarm is going off. It's a heavy taste. Tastes like it's along the lines of Heineken a little bit, but not really. And I'm only saying that because I'm trying to compare the style to something I've tasted before. Heineken has that unusual taste to it. This has an unusual taste, but in a different direction.
I'd like to know what the IBUs are. I think I could find out if I look. It's got a pretty strong bitterness relative to
It
other
does.
American beers. It
Yeah,
might be something for like a Bud Light drinker to try if they wanted to try something different than their normal stuff.
it's a little bit more bitter than the Foster's Lager. But even the Foster's Lager's got this same taste as this Foster's.
That unusual, and that's from those Prada Ringwood hops, I think.
Probably.
Because they even say on the website that they're unique. They're not the normal type hops, which maybe will turn some people off. I don't know. I find it has a little caramel candy underneath as well,
No, I'm not getting that at all.
and corn. Pretty sure
I'm getting corn, but I'm also getting bitter.
you get more bitter than malt.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you cook a roux and you kind of burn the roux a little bit, but it's still good and it still tastes good, but you can still kind of get that little underlying burnt. There's a little underlying burnt to this. And maybe that's coming from the hop. Maybe it's, I don't know. It's a very unusual beer. I've never tasted a style like this before.
Yeah, brewed under the supervision of Foster's in Fort Worth, Texas. I'm sure it's not too hard for them to say, do it like this.
It's got a real robust body. It stays on your palate. It's not clean finishing. It lingers. It's an unusual hop flavor going on with it.
You think it's worth what I paid for it at Walmart?
I don't know what you paid.
$1.88
Yeah.
for the can.
Yeah, it's 2 beers. It's 24.5.
Yes, it's a little bit
It's
more
2
than
cans of beer. Yeah, it's good. It's a sipper. Let's say alcohol is 5.5. I think it's because of the body and those unusual hops. Sometimes you can only take in so much at one time. There's some of the American beers are designed that you can drink, because they want to sell quantity. This is quality. I thought it was unusual they had a big O in there. Kind of reminds me of Oakley O, or University of Oregon O.
Yeah, I don't know what the O is for because it's Foster's F, but the O is strange.
Yeah.
That is interesting. And I looked at the old bottles that they had on the internet image search, and they were the same. It was like a brown bottle with the green label and the O, and it said Foster's Premium Bitters. So that's what the bottle said, Foster's
Uh-oh.
Premium Bitters. But I have some
just
friends.
like an Oakley O.
I have some friends in Australia, and they said this is not sold in Australia, and they could barely find Foster's. They said Foster's is not popular in Australia. They had to go searching for the lager.
What is popular there?
Victoria Bitters, which is similar to this but lower alcohol. something they drink all the time. It's like an ale, a guzzle
Well,
ale.
because they're like in the desert area, you can't have them high alcohols. So you want something that's alcohol, like a shandy or something.
Yeah, VB is like their big brand over there, Victoria Bitters. But this hoppiness is really getting on my tongue, like on the end. I don't know what kind of score you give it. I know what I'm going to give it. I don't know what kind of grade you give it.
I don't know what to compare it to.
I'm just saying on its own merits, like what score would you give it?
Oh, it's a good beer. It's along the lines of Vienna style. It's real light. It's just light, but the body's big. The bitters are pulling in. Bitters. Saying bitters because it's the hops. They're and those bitters come off.
The hops are taking over everything. The corn, the malt.
See, as it sat in the glass, that all the bubbles have faded, and we're just left with champagne bottles, like a good Vienna style.
Like a Victoria or something. Oh, I should have gone to Dormax and bought that Bohemia today.
Yeah, like Bohemian.
You've had
Or
that
Negro
one?
Negro Modelo has the same.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, and then LA31 just made one.
Oh, that Cinco de Bayou?
I did. I got one bottle and I chilled it too long, so it broke, and I never did taste it.
Cinco de Bayou. Okay.
I actually spoke to Carlos on Facebook, and he told me it's Vienna style. So,
What letter grade would you give that? Like A, excellent, B, good, C, fair, D, bad, or F, undrinkable? Obviously not undrinkable.
no, it's good. I mean, it's unusual. The hop. I wish it was a slight bit maltier. I give it. It's not bad. So not bad. I'd give it an A.
A. I was gonna say A minus, like at the lower end of excellent, like a 90 or 91.
I would give it an A minus, but I don't have anything to base that grade off.
So it's kind of throwing you off because you got.
standalone.
It's
I'd
kind of
give
throwing.
it an A.
It's kind of throwing you off because of this little odd.
It's on the lower end of excellent.
I'll be A minus.
Yeah.
But
I
you
mean,
would recommend
that's it.
people buying it. I mean, $1.88 a can. I mean,
Yeah, but most of the American palates aren't going to be able to handle this.
you don't think?
No.
It's a nice break from all the sugar beers we've been trying.
And it's not sweet. So a lot of people like that sweet. You know, like we discussed how
They're looking for
the moving market of the IPAs is moving away from the dank, clear, bitter to more of a sweet, cloudy.
It ain't no
Almost like you're drinking cake.
It ain't no creamsicle.
No, I've had some of those New England styles as they're being labeled. Some of them taste like wedding cake frosting. Some of them taste like they got an oat background. Some of them wheat. You can taste the wheat.
Some of them are really good too. Though.
Some of them are good. Some of them are very
like
good.
Juicifer is good.
Juicifer, right? Bright Side.
All right, so we're looking at an excellent beer, we think, and we recommend it, especially for $1.88 a can. I mean, it's better than that $5.99 a bottle for that other product, which we won't mention on the air.
Well, it's a totally different.
Although it is 12% alcohol.
12.3.
A knockout.
12.31.
It's like buying, paying $5.99 for like an injection of chemicals.
Well, it's one of those once a year things, and every time it's a once a year, everyone runs them down. So
Yep, and
you'd be a fool, business-wise, not to make them.
Gotta sell them.
That's it.
And it's gonna clear out. I'm sure it's gonna sell. So.
All right, y'all.
All right, thanks for watching this
Thanks for tuning
video
in.
production. And y'all come on down to southeastern Louisiana. Laissez les bon temps rouler.
Lazy Mississippi.